Hello everybody, this is Pat Walker, Mission Winners, doing a video overview of the ETFs. You can say, why do we do this? Here's a fact, not an opinion, a fact. Leading groups produce leading stocks, and leading stocks produce leading groups. So what do we look for? Why do we do the ETFs? We can see where there's strength in industry sectors. At the same time, we can see areas that are weak and avoid. That's powerful information for us. So let's take it from the top here. Here we go. By the way, housekeeping. This is the 200-day moving average line, the purple. The green line's the 50-day simple. The blue line's the 21-day exponential. The gold line, or the yellow line, is the 8-period exponential. There you go. So BBH is basing here a little bit. It's below the 200-day, okay? But it's forming a low-level cup with handle, something to possibly watch. And it did have decent volume here on Friday. Continue onwards. Cloud computing, it's lagging here. There's not a lot of power here. I mean, it lifted up on Friday, but not much volume. So stay away from cloud computing stocks. See, that's power. Electric vehicles is starting to pick back up again. See this? Still below the 200-day, but look at the volume here. Look at the volume slowly picking up. Oh, and by the way, gosh, I wonder what stock did pretty well in that group. Tesla did. Tesla did. We use this data, and yeah, we're in Tesla. We've been in Tesla since back here on the higher low setup. This was a proxy, but Tesla's chart was the proxy, the real proxy. This guided us and helped guide us into it. Dow Jones Internet, starting to lift up a little bit. You've got some tops right here, low level cup with handle. Needs to go through that line right there. See that? And it needs to do it on really heavy volume. But note, it's below the falling 200-day. I mean, there's a lot of overhead supply in this, a lot. Just be aware of that. Dow Jones IBD 50 is picking up a little bit, and that's good to see. Why is that important? The IBD 50 is a great measurement of the action of the leading stocks, stocks that are both fundamentally and technically pretty good, right? And it's nice to see this starting to pick up. There's no real special entry here, okay? But it is starting to pick up. One negative is picking up on decreasing volume every day. Gold miners, this is lagging. I mean, there's some volume here, but look at all the overhead. It makes it tougher, okay? I'd stay away from the gold miners. Gold picking up a little bit, but it's pretty tough here, okay? Maybe if it went sideways, and I'll draw this for you. This is what we do at Mission Winners. Maybe it goes sideways here, forms a little handle, and then lifts off. What's the one plus about this chart? Pretty good volume here on this bar. What's this couple of negatives? Tons of overhead supply, and even though this was a decent green bar, it is overwhelmed by these big red volume, selling volume bars. Something to consider. Things that we study at Mission Winners. So let's continue onward here. Here we go. Biotechnology. Just going sideways. Another biotechnology ETF. Be nice if it took out these tops right here, and I'll draw it for you, just to frame it up. By the way, you can also buy the ETFs, right? Here you go. This one's fluid, very fluid. It's about 1.3 million shares a day, average daily volume. Takes out that line on good volume. Potential entry, potential. Online retail, it's kind of lagging here, folks. I mean, it's a long base, but man, look at this. That's a lot of overhead supply there, folks. What's overhead supply? People that when it gets back up near their price, people that bought it here, they say, if that comes back near my price, by Jove, I'm selling. I'm near break even. That's overhead supply. Things to be aware of. Oil and gas exploration starting to pick up again. We were very involved in oil and gas back here in May and June and did really well. It's starting to pick up a lot of overhead supply, okay? Just be aware of that. Not a slam dunk here. Technology and software starting to pick up a little bit, maybe forms a base here and lifts off. It's below the 200-day though, be aware of it. A lot of overhead supply. You're not going to find a lot of great stuff right now. That's the bottom line. However, leading groups and leading stocks, we have stocks that are working well for us. Dow Jones US Medicine, possibly picking up, but again, you see there's a lot of overhead supply here, folks. There's a lot of overhead on a lot of these stocks. Mid-cap starts to pick up. That's good to see. In fact, did you notice? This one's closer to the 200-day than a lot of the others. Mid-cap, Oh, okay, that's something to consider as far as potential opportunities. Home construction was really good back in here. I mean, this was rocking and rolling. And then, whew, that is quite a swoon, folks. Look at that. From 80 all the way down to 60. Ugh. That's why you manage your stocks. Looking at it now, it's starting to come back. For maybe a couple with a high handle right here. Take out that bar. If it does it, what's it need? Volume. But home construction is starting to turn back up again. That's good to see. S&P 500 growth picking up a little bit. That's good to see because we like growth. Small cap picking up. That's good to see. A lot of overhead supplies but below the falling 200-day, but at least it's starting to pick up. By the way, note the higher low setup. Things to take into consideration. We like that. I'm going to show you a couple others here. Airlines. I just showed you things that are picking up. This really hasn't even taken out the highs from a week ago. So it's lagging. Be careful with the airlines. All right. Regional banking is picking up a little bit. That's good to see. Tons of overhead supply. What's the negative? It's rallying up on steadily decreasing volume. Not a lot of power. Be aware of that. Mid-cap. The mid-cap stocks are picking up too. You see how you can say, like, it looks like from what you're saying, Pat, just looking at these charts, the rally is spreading out a little bit to other areas. You're correct. There you go. That's knowledge that's powerful for us. Here we go. Oil services, OIH, picking up some, okay. We'll see what happens if it can push through the 200-day and also push through the falling 50-day. Note, though, there's a lot of red selling bars in here, isn't there? A lot of selling. Be aware of that. Oil, and this is interesting, isn't it? This is why we do this. On Friday, with the market really rocking up, right? It did. This gaps up, runs up, and reverses down. That's a negative. Be careful with the oil then, okay? Online retail. See this base right here? And I'll draw this for you. Nothing fancy. Right there. Just going flat. Perhaps it will take out this bar. Now, what's the negative here? Well, there's serious selling on this bar, and there's serious selling on this bar. But I want to share something with you, and this is a great lesson we talk about emission winners. You can say, oh, it's a red bar on heavy volume, it's bad. Look where it opened. I'll enlarge this. See where it opened? It gapped down, opened at the lows of the day, and then closed in the top half of its range. Wish it had closed a little stronger, but did it on really heavy volume. What's that tell us? There were sellers and then buyers came in. That's powerful information to know, just looking at the charts. But it needs to take out these tops here on volume. A lot of overhead supply. Infrastructure, picking up a little bit. See this? That's good to see. 200-day looms overhead. Be aware of that, okay? Pharmaceuticals, picking up a little bit. And this really isn't that bad of a bar, folks. Needs to take out these tops. But drugs, okay. Can you see the point here? There's pockets of strength in this market increasing. This is the inverse. This goes down in price when the market's going up, okay? And what does this tell us? It's the market's going up, all right? QLD, look at that. And this is a great lesson. I'm going to pause here for a minute and share this with you. One of the charts that I've used through the years, and it's not fancy. It's simply the higher low setup. It's falling. Goes up, it falls. Goes up, and hits another low. I mean, look, hits a low, 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 right? I'm not saying that to be funny and cute. The trend is down. Rallies up, and it falls. And it doesn't take out the previous low. For the first time in this decline, you have a higher low, right? A higher low. This low is higher than this low. It rallies up, and it falls again. Another higher low. This low higher than this low. We bought some through this, I advised, fell, locked some small profits in, and then it starts to lift up again, and guess what? We buy more. Higher low setup. This low higher than this low. And what's it doing? And we added to it also, 20% add. We're letting it work. There you go. The higher low setup. That is illustrated dang near real time for you. It is a setup that you can use. You could say, Pat, let's talk risk management. I'm big on risk management. I had to be. By the way, for those that don't know it, I was an IBD meetup co-leader for over 12 years and taught this on the stage specifically for the audience. So we're firmly ingrained in the methods and technologies and the systems. If you bought this here, where would you sell? If it takes out the low of that bar for a very, very small loss. Very small. Good risk management. There you go. But what's it doing for us right now? It's working. I'm thankful for that. QQQ, same situation. Higher low setup. Here, 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 and it's going. We've got QLD because of the leverage. I love QLD. Retail's starting to pick back up again. That's good to see. There's really nothing to do with it, but it's starting to pick up. What's the point of this exercise? It's showing us there's various pockets of strength in this market. It's not just a one-trick pony. There's pockets all over the place in various industry groups. That's what we like to see. This is the inverse ETF, okay, and it's dropping because the market's going up. And then we go to cloud computing. All right, take a look at this. I showed you a bunch that are lifting up. This is just going sideways. It's not participating. However, this is a nice base right here. You see that? It's just going sideways. What does it need to do? Take out that line and do it with heavy volume. Cloud computing. All right. Shows a further evidence that things are picking up in various sectors. Silver's picking up a little bit. That's good to see. It's, there's no real clean entry, but it is picking up. Steel's picking up. Look at that. And you can't, by the way, please don't think, oh, Pat's extremely bullish. No, I'm just getting in line with what is. The market tells us what to do. Stocks talk. Stocks talk to us. Our job is listen with an open mind and act accordingly. Steel's starting to pick up tons of overhead. It's picking up a little bit, not a lot of volume power though, okay? Semiconductors, look at that, picking up. Technology related. Are we involved in technology? You bet we are. It's picking up. By the way, did this have a higher low? This low was higher than this low. And look what it does. There you go. That's my gift to you. There it is. By the way, how was the volume on this bar? It was just a little about the same as the bar before. How was the volume on this bar? It picked up. There you go. So anyway, just wanted to point that out to you. We're not in that, but I wanted to point it out to you. Spider's picking up. We're in SSO. Spider's picking up. That's good to see. You see that? Look at the volume pickup. We like that. Let's see what happens. There's SSO. Higher low setup. This low higher than this low. Entry. Letting it work. Sold some. In great shape. There you go. That's even better, isn't it? That's folks, that's a good run. It's just a start. We'll see where it goes. Now, am I going to say buy it here? No. The train's already left the station, but it's trending up for us, and that's what we want. Solar, look at that, picking up. You see this volume on that bar? Watch this. You can say, oh, look at that. That baby's picking up. What's it telling you here? When it's going sideways here, you say, gosh, I guess if it takes out the 200-day, that'd be pretty good. And it did it with volume. You see something like that and say, gosh, looking at here, you'd say, maybe I need to look at some solar stocks. Many groups are getting hit, and this one's just going sideways. And look at that. You know what I call that? That's sweet potato pie. There you go. That's how it works. TNA, small cap, picking up. There's another example. The rally's spreading out. Uranium, it's lifting up a little bit, but tons of overhead here. I mean, it has a higher low setup. It's okay. It's okay. Oil. Gapped up, ran up, and closed near the lows. There's a seller there. This needs to start picking up, okay? We'll see what happens. Not super excited about it. Aerospace and defense. Look at that. Look at that lift. Lift off the 50-day. Right here. Close near the highs and follows through. I'm not saying buy it now, but you can see the pattern. And I'm going to do something for you. It's like, let's not look after the fact. You can say, oh, look at that. Didn't want that. Wanted this. There you go. Just going sideways. Say, oh, it looks like a low-level cup and a handle to me. I agree. It's nothing fancy. You say, gosh, if it takes that out that line on heavy volume, that'd be a buy. Volume picked up. On this bar, the volume was 76,000. This bar, 125,000. Picked up by 50,000 shares versus the previous bar. There you go. That's a great lesson. Simple. Nothing fancy. Conceptually simple. Clean and simple flat basis. I'm not saying buy it here, but it was a setup. There you go. Continue onward. Another biotechnology ETF. Just like it's lagging. Be careful with it. It's not really doing anything here. Home builders picking up a little bit. Been rallying higher low. This low higher than this low. This low higher than this low. It's trending up, walking up the ADMA. I'm not saying buy it here, but it's lifted. That's good to see. Shows strength in various areas. Materials picking up. We're about done, by the way. Materials picking up. That's good. Okay. Some resistance here at the 50-day. Energy, another energy ETF. Look at that. Pop through the 50-day on a pickup in volume. What is it saying? Maybe look at some energy stocks. There you go. The systems work. Financials starting to pick up a little bit too. Did you notice, by the way, as we're going through here, you can see more and more ETFs, more industries are advancing. They're starting to pick up. That's good. That's real good. That's what we like to see. Industrials picking up. Technology picking up. Good to see. Like that. Consumer staples going up some, pushing through the 200-day, but not a lot of power there. We're about done. Utilities lifting up a little bit here. That's good to see too. That's what we like. And then healthcare. Just kind of hovering here. You know, it started a lift, but then it pulled back here. Maybe it'll get through the 200-day. What's the moral of the story here? Consumer discretionary picking up a little bit. Good to see. Metals and mining picking up, but it's still lagging below the 200-day. It needs to show some real power. Oil picking up a little bit. Oil and gas exploration. Good to see. Retail picking up some, but still lagging. Not a lot of power here, folks. I just showed you a bunch of ETFs that took out the highs from last week. This one didn't. That's a good study, isn't it? How's it doing versus a week ago? Software. Yeah, it didn't even take out the highs from last week. Rallies up on decreasing volume. Not a lot of power.
Did you know that Mission Winners is more than just a YouTube channel? We have a full-fledged VIP membership site with live chart analysis, live question and answer sessions, live buy and sell alerts, VIP-only Twitter, VIP-only Discord, and thousands of archived educational videos. So if you're ready to begin mastering the charts, head over to missionwinners.com and join us today.
And the MAXLIST. So here's Apple. Right here. This low was higher than this low. And you see this buy right here? Yes, it was bought. Yes, it was. And it's working. And then you get earnings right here, and it gaps up more. That's the higher low setup, folks. I'm going to do something for you as a service. I'm going to take this back because it's like, oh, yeah, it's easy to see. Well, let's go back in time. Here we go. Here it is, and it rallies up. It's like, oh, well, we'll see what it does. Maybe it's going to do something here. Oh, look at that. Gaps down, falls, closes up a little bit. Higher low setup, right? This low, higher than this low. Let's see what it does here. Advance at one bar. Starts to pick up. Higher low setup. This low, higher than this low. Is it going to work? Maybe. Oh, gee whiz, it does. Look at that. It takes off. There it is. Higher low setup. This was called out. This was on the key list. VIPs own it. And it's working. It's trending. Look at the trend up the 21-day. Look at the trend up the ADMA. And here you go. And then you ready? Then you get the gift. Earnings. And you had plenty of price cushion. You sold some into strength to guarantee profits. You're in great shape. There you go. That's the higher low setup working. There we go. This low higher than this low. Amazon, higher low setup. This low higher than this low. This low higher than this low. Entry right here. Runs up. Okay. How's it doing? Well, it's hanging in pretty good. We'll watch and see what happens. We'll watch and see what happens with it. I had to put that in there for you. What was that? Earnings. And you know what I call that? Higher low setup entry. That is what I call sweet potato pie right there. And because you sold some into strength, you've got a profit cushion guaranteed. You're able to handle it through earnings. And that's a payday for you. There we go. Continue onwards. Google, starting to lift up a little bit, needs to get through this line. And there it is. Lifts off on a pickup in volume. Some VIPs bought it right through here. We'll see what happens. What is it, folks? It's a MAXLIST stock. Next one. Meta is not. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's not so good here, folks. Okay, be careful with that. Nothing really good there. Continue onward. Microsoft. Entry through this line right here. It was on the key list. See the clean and simple tops? Going sideways. You could draw with a crayon. Don't do that to your monitor, though. That's a bad thing. Okay, and it lifts off. It's working. Everything's great. We'll see where it goes. In it right here. And it's working. Continue onward. Netflix is just a laggard, okay? There's really nothing to do with it. Leave it alone. Nvidia. What do you have here, team? And this is for everybody. It's the higher low setup. I will tell you this. I've been doing this a long time. I was running money through the crash of '87, okay? By the way, we were completely out before the crash, and I credit Martin Zweig for that, so for what it's worth. Great guy, too. I got to meet him a couple of times. It was very sad when he passed away. Way too young. Higher low, this low, higher than this low. Nvidia buys here and here. Look at the volume on that bar, too. Going up, okay? See these tops right here? You'd say, gosh, if earnings are good, maybe it'll push through that line, right? We'll watch and see what happens. See that line right there? If it pushes through there, that could be a potential buy. There you go. Just sharing it with you, okay? Will this be on the key list? Yep. There you go. We own it from lower. Tesla, higher low setup. This low higher than this low, buys. Sell some up. This low higher than this low. Goes up, starts to trigger, buys. This was on the key list, by the way. Right here. Saying, gosh, I guess if it takes out this line here, it's kind of a cup and a handle, isn't it? That'd be pretty neat. Oh, gee whiz, it does it on a pickup in volume. Do you think we're the only people in the world that saw it? No, a lot of people saw it. We were prepared for it. Entry for more. And that's where we're at. Twitter's picking up, but Twitter has news. All right? There's all kinds of news working around Twitter. Makes it a little riskier. I have to share this. That is not a reflection or a criticism of Elon Musk. No, he's great. He's great. I have no problems there. It's just the idea that any news could happen, could drive it up in price or drive it down. Just be aware of that. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Okay? And then we go back to the top. In a relatively short period of time, you now see opportunities. You see what to do. These patterns happen over and over. Big money is made by riding trends.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.